And we're here again this morning with Renee Lucas from LCS Heating and Cooling. And Renee, I'm guessing this is a question you've heard before. My air conditioning unit is, well, frankly, it's full on ugly.
Yes.
So,
the big box, you mean?
Right,
yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Is it okay to put some plants around it so that everybody's not looking at it?
You know, we want some curb appeal, don't we? And a lot of times we don't have a choice or much of a choice as to where our air conditioner goes. So yes, you can absolutely use your landscaping to really make your air conditioner blend in a little bit or make it more appealing from the road. The thing that we have to be careful of is that we don't completely cover it in plants, because that can really be detrimental to the unit itself.
And how is that?
Well, there's lots of different types of plants, right? And so if we look at something like this plant can be shaped, right? And so it's really easy to keep it away from the air conditioner and not let it grow into it, right? So this is a yes. Let's do something like this, right?
Okay.
Now, if we look at something like this, while this can be beautiful, right, especially when it's blooming,
right.
Look how it's into the air conditioner. It's actually growing into the air conditioner, right? So this can actually restrict airflow. It can cause animals to burrow and hibernate around those plants. This is a big no-no, right?
Okay.
And so if you have something like ivy, for example, that really spreads, right? We want to keep that away from your air conditioning units. If we have something like we've got some tall grasses or a big flowering bush like this or something like that, you can have them around, but we need them planted further away than what these are. This is not an ideal setup right here at all.
Renee, let's back up and talk about, and I didn't even know animals were an issue.
Oh, yeah. So when we're thinking of animals, think of your little rodents, right? Like chipmunks can be the biggest problem, mice, squirrels, birds, things like that, right? So when you've got plants that are literally covering your air conditioner, animals and rodents like that tend to burrow in there, they tend to nest, and that can really create problems. Like if a chipmunk gets in here, they can chew up wires, they can really cause some damage inside of your unit. Unfortunately, the air conditioner can also zap these little animals, and so we hate to see the death of a chipmunk or a bird or a frog or something like that, but the chances of that are a little bit higher if you have a lot of plants and overgrowth around that air conditioner.
And I'm guessing this is something I'm going to be checking on myself, but also if I have LCS Heating and Cooling out for an inspection, you're going to be checking.
Yes, 100%. And so we'll see that right away because we'll be inside of your air conditioner doing some maintenance. So the other thing that can happen inside of your air conditioner is you can have leaves and everything else congregate around and in it. And so having all of that cleaned out is really, really important. So think especially if you've got plants that are really close to your air conditioner, that springtime and the fall time are essential, but also when the summer snow starts flying, that cottonwood, that can create a lot of problems for your air conditioner as well. It clogs it up. And so we always say, like, if something restricts airflow, that's going to affect how it is able to cool inside of your home, and it affects the efficiency of the unit and the longevity of it, really.
And if we're talking about animals, any tips regarding domestic animals?
Oh, you know what? I've got a bonus tip for you.
Okay.
So make sure your dogs are not urinating on the air conditioner. So a lot of people don't realize this, but the urine is acidic in a way, and so it eats away at the fins of the air conditioner. And once a dog marks that air conditioner, it's like they just keep coming back and they keep coming back. And so it'll corrode the fins. There's no fix for that. There's nothing you can do for that. And so, you know, you've got a big problem on your hands if that happens.
And now that we've talked about the aesthetics, one of the things I notice at my house is that my unit is just so darn loud. Exactly. And usually the loudest when we're entertaining.
Oh, I tell you what, there's nothing worse than being outside, you've got people over, you're in the patio, and then all of a sudden you hear your air conditioner kick on, or your neighbors, which is even worse because you can't do anything about that, right? So people often ask us, is there anything that I can do to quiet down my AC unit?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no. However, something to think about, when you're ready to replace that unit, there's technology now that's really quiet. And so it's called inverter technology. So if you get an air conditioner that's an inverter system, you literally cannot hear it run. And so over here, there's actually a mini split So this is a ductless mini split. This is not a true air conditioner, but an inverter system has more of a shape like this than like what we saw over here.
Okay.
And so it's very quiet. It takes up a lot less space. And so if you have an air conditioner that's close to a patio, it's just not as obvious as those big boxes. It can be hung on the side of the house. Like there's a lot that you can do to really help with the aesthetics of it and everything. And so that's an inverter air conditioner, but that's when you're ready to replace.
That's a good tip to get from LCS Heating and Cooling.